All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chang podcast episode 18 featuring Umamisenpaittv. Umami, thank you so much for taking the time to be on this podcast as the 18th guest. I appreciate it. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you everyone for being here today, this morning, this afternoon, out wherever you guys are.
All right, folks.
I appreciate it.
As you can see on the screen, on the top right, you see the panel with Umami and his logo. On the bottom right, you can see the links or the handles for both of our Instagrams. Feel free to drop some follows. You guys can also use !podcast to get better understanding of why I do these things. But to summarize it, it's just a great way to get to know a person on a deeper level, just to have personal connections. And !guest to see Umamisenpaittv's Twitch user. So drop him a follow if you haven't already on Twitch. Here we go. Alright, Umami, let's do this. First, start off with a brief introduction about yourself, and please include some hobbies and interests.
Okay. Hi everybody, I'm Umami Senpai TTV, or you guys can call me Ricky or Richard, but up to you guys, or just Senpai, striving to be a certified Senpai. I'm 26. I'm in the military. My hobbies would range from, and depending on my mood, would range from singing, watching anime, playing volleyball, gaming, streaming, or daddy. But I do enjoy going out. Yeah, I mean, more so I used to enjoy going out. I'm pretty much an introvert now these days, being stuck here in Hawaii. And don't get me wrong, Hawaii is a great place to visit and have fun. It is not a great place to live in because this place is expensive. I can't stand it. And I'm not an island person. I'm a city boy. So, yeah. Yeah, that's my introduction.
For sure. How would you describe your personality? You've already mentioned that you are more of an introvert as of now, but go ahead and let us know what else.
My personality wise, I'm a humble person, and I'm extremely nice about everything until you don't give me a reason to be nice to you. But as far as that, my whole life I've just been known as a nice guy, and a lot of my friends get along with me just because how I wouldn't necessarily say bubbly. It's just more of like a calm, collected guy. And then there's times like I have like maybe like a couple, like two different personalities, but just one's me being normal, and then just one where I'm like drinking and all that. So that's typically how I am as a person. I'm generally a nice guy, not a I'm not mean or anything. I do like to joke around sometimes, but it's nothing personal. On top of that, I'm usually the one getting made fun of anyway by my group of friends.
Let's get into your childhood. So you could start from the beginning, kind of like where you were born, what was life like, and then just easily transition through your life chronologically.
Chronologically?
Yeah, we'll start with childhood, so yeah.
Okay, for sure. I was born and raised in Garden Grove, California, so SoCal. I don't really remember much of my childhood. I know my parents were super strict. I actually don't know who my real dad is, and I'll get more into that here in a little bit. But as far as I know, I I have two other siblings. I'm the eldest of pretty much all of my family. In regards of like the for me being the eldest with like my cousins as well. Um, so growing up, I don't remember too much of my childhood. It was just a lot of like blanks for me. But I do remember moving when I was 5 to the East Coast. Uh, I moved to Delaware with my parents just because they got a job. No, they were being trained to become nail technicians um, by other family and get certified and all that. Eventually, about 2 years later, we moved to Arizona, and that's where they opened up their shop, and that's where I was for the majority of like the rest of my childhood throughout my high school years. Um, Growing up, it was pretty difficult to hang out with friends. It's just because Asian parents are very strict, but when you get older, they kind of like loosen up a little bit. I've made quite a bit of friends over in Arizona. Oh, there was this one point in time where my parents got into a really big fallout, and my brother and we ended up moving with my mom back to California, and that was only for like maybe like a couple months or so, and then we moved back to Delaware, and then eventually we moved to Arizona. My brother and we were babysat, and then eventually we started going to the Boys and Girls Club, and the Boys and Girls Club in California was amazing. Cool people, cool staff, and all that. And then we went to the Boys and Girls Club in Arizona. It was whack. It really was whack. Um, I did get into like a few things, like small little hobbies, when I was growing up in Arizona. Growing up the majority of the time in Arizona, my brother and we started dancing. If you guys heard of like sea walking and all that, dancing like sea walking with like R&B music and all
Yep.
that, and then eventually my brother and we started learning how to b-boy and sea walking. Yeah, sea walking. Eventually, yeah, we eventually moved on to doing b-boy, and I actually took it a little bit further, and like because my brother stopped dancing, I just continued dancing, and like that's pretty much how I built my clique in high school. So throughout middle school, I was just like hanging out, learning the basic movements for b-boy. On top of that, I was on the middle school basketball team. Um, I didn't get to play as much, and I ended up quitting. It's just because I thought I sucked, and I didn't want to hold the team down, so I left the team. And just playing basketball with my friends just at recess, they're like, we don't understand why you quit. It's like, yeah, well, it's just because I suck. It's like, well, you're making all these shots. So I was like, yeah, well, I'm just lucky. um, High school comes by, freshman year, I started breakdancing during lunchtime. I was in choir, the beginning choir, and from there, it kind of just like went on with the rest of the high school life. Um, Breakdancing, my group for dancing grew bigger, and we will always have like dance sessions at lunch or even after school. We eventually, during my what high school did I go to? So I was in Arizona still. So I went to Buena High School, in this small little military town, Sierra Vista. Um, Honestly, I had a lot of fun my junior senior year. Junior year, I actually requested to create my own dance club, seeming how we didn't have one in the high school, and it was just pretty much like my friends who danced and all that. And I was the president. I had a vice president and everything and all that. Uh, we tried doing fundraisers and all that, but it didn't work out too well. We did host a talent show, which the entire cafeteria was just filled with people, and we were just surprised, to be honest. Um, yeah. After high school, uh,
We could pause there so I could ask you specifics.
oh yeah, sure, no, that works.
So first off, what was your personal relationship like with your siblings and your parents?
My I didn't get along too well with my siblings. Well, my sister was pretty young, so I mean, we're obviously taking care of her. She wasn't born until like 2003. Um, so she was born 2003, a couple years after my brother and I had moved to Arizona. My brother and I, we didn't really get along with each other. It was just constant competition with between us. Um, and you know, we're both a bunch of crybabies and all that. Quite honestly, my relationship with my parents has been extremely rocky growing up. I didn't like the way they disciplined me, and just like it's just a lot of neglect growing up because they work hard. I give them that. They work hard. They opened up their own nail shop, bought their first house, and yeah, bought their first house and everything. But they were just constantly working, and like the only time we'll spend time together is if we're going. It's on a Sunday. Um, we'll go out of town and like, or they'll force me to go to church with them, and I absolutely hated that. Um, I'm not a very religious person, so I'm sorry if I offend anybody. Um, but my brother and I are the same way. We started actually picking up gaming because of our uncle who came to stay with us for a while until he went back to California because he
Mm-hmm.
was like just pretty much like up to no good back in California. And so he came to stay with us, and he got me into pretty much anime because he saw me watching Naruto and dubbed on the TV, and he was just he called it trash. Why are you watching this garbage in English? You should watch it in Japanese. So much better. I was like, okay. And so he told me to download LimeWire, and because LimeWire had everything, like all the movies and all that, all the TV shows and all that, and like there's just a compressed zip file for like 300 episodes of Naruto at the time. So I did. I watched it. I instantly was like, dude, I love this. Japanese is so much better. I never went back to dub after that. Um, he's gotten me into Halo. LimeWire is still old school. Yeah, it is. Uh, yeah, he got me and my brother into gaming as well. We were all on console. My uncle played on PC for a little bit. He was playing WoW, World of Warcraft, and then I started playing on PC, and I started playing um, Gunbound. Gunbound was like one of my first games that I started playing. It was a fun game. I got bored and I started like expanding my horizon, and I saw Maple Story, so I started playing Maple Story and I just got really into it. Um, but my relationship now with my parents and my siblings is completely different. I say that because this is after I left for boot camp. Or no, no, sorry, after I had graduated high school. But I would like to say my relationship with um, my family now is a little bit better than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And they still nag at me here and there for other things, like important things and all that. But you know, I care for them. They worked hard. My parents worked hard. My brother's working hard. My sister's working hard for school in school. Um, believe it or not, my sister is the only one that graduated early. So she just recently graduated last May. No, this past May. And she was only 17. And normally when you graduate, you're like 18 or something like that. So, but she took college courses, and I applaud her and I envy her for, pushing through with school and like actually like going towards a degree and all that, all while helping my parents at their nail shop. We all helped out when we were younger. I hated it. My brother hated it.
Mm-hmm.
My sister doesn't mind it because she gets paid by my parents, just like a small little allowance, and she just saves it up. But yeah, um, I'm still not as close as I am with my family. Maybe to my little brother, but not for everybody else. So
What's the exact age gap between you and your brother?
we're a year apart.
Oh, only a year. Okay.
Yeah. So my brother was born a year after I was, and then a couple of months after our real dad passed away.
So when you refer to parents, you're talking about like your stepfather then?
Yeah.
I see.
So I never got to know who my real dad was.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I didn't even learn about him until seventh grade. Yeah, seventh grade, Christmas time. I came home after years of not seeing my grandparents, because my mom didn't want me to go see them. I don't know why, or the exact reason why. They finally let me go see them. My grandparents told me, or yeah, my grandparents and my cousins told me about my real dad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they had a picture of him, and it's like, yeah, you look so much like your dad. Like, I was like, what are you talking about? My my dad's still alive. But like, what? It's like, no,
Oh
no,
my
no,
gosh.
that's your stepdad. I was like, say that one more time. That's your stepdad. I was like, your real dad actually passed away, but your mom didn't tell you about it because she hated him because he was never there, and he was always out partying, um, and all that. But the guy's just having a good time. I would assume everyone in the house praises him, and then every time they see me come visit, it's like, wow, you look so much like your dad. But yeah, no, they showed a picture of me, and I look exactly like him when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell my mom, or no, so my brother. At this point, at that point, I was just like, okay, maybe John's not my real brother because he was born a year after. I don't know. Um, yeah, no, my brother and I got into an argument, and it's like, well, he's my dad. It said something along the lines like he's my dad. He's not your dad. Blah blah blah. Because we're kids, like we didn't know any better. And then this one day back in Arizona, it was like after Christmas and all that. We were coming home from we were heading back from my parents' nail shop. My brother said some shit and saying that, well, Richard says I'm not his real brother. And my mom flipped the fuck out. I was like, why? Who said that? Who told you? Blah blah blah. It's like, well, they told me that my real dad passed away. I was like, no, don't ever speak about him. Blah blah blah. And then, like, I regret later you go see them. Now you know. Blah. And, like, he wasn't there. He was always out partying with one of my aunts actually. But she called him some bitch. And I was like, Mom, chill. In my head, like, I couldn't really say anything. She was just already yelling at us, and like,
Mm-hmm.
I I'm not gonna lie, I do have a temper, and really bad temper sometimes, but it just depends. And that's because I get it from my parents. Um, it's not so bad now. It's not so bad. But yeah, no, he he passed away when I was 1, and when my brother was just barely born. And it was in a car accident in Vegas. The car accident was so severe that both him and my aunt both passed away because my aunt was with him. And I guess the story goes was that his friend, and my aunt were all together, and he let his friend drive. Um, he let his friend drive, and they got, I guess, somebody or yeah, somebody T-boned them or something like that. I don't remember the full story, but when I found out that, like, you know, he was him being my real dad and all that, I was just like, that's pretty gruesome, because like severed bodies and everything too. So yeah, but since then, like, knowing that my real dad had passed away, I kind of just saw things differently, a different perspective and all that. It's like, well, I just continue on with my life, and yeah, I've seen my dad once or twice in my dreams. It was just a really weird thing. I didn't know what to say to him. I didn't know how to respond. I was just like, hi, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So, growing up, then, how would you describe your stepfather and your mom? Like, what type of parents were they like? You did mention discipline, so
They
you could talk
were
about that.
really they were really strict parents.
Like traditional.
Um, Traditional discipline. Discipline in them is I'm gonna beat you with a belt or a chancla or some chopsticks.
Mm-hmm.
But they work really hard to get to where they are now. Um, Again, we were. If there's anything I can remember growing up from my childhood, is that back in California, we were with my stepdad's father, because my father took my mom and me and my brother in, and we stayed in the upstairs portion of the house. So it was a duplex. So you got a downstairs house and an upstairs house. And like since then, we were very poor. I'm not gonna lie, we were very poor. And my dad used to serve time in jail as well, my stepdad. And I didn't know about that till like later when I was older, a little bit older. I don't remember when. Um, but growing up, I told myself, because like the discipline, the abuse, and all that, just losing something like my brother and I lost our PSPs. But what really happened was our uncle at the time when he was staying with us, he had some pretty fucked up friends, and one of his friends stole our PSPs, and my brother and I, we got beat for it. Like they tore up our room. They had us tore up our room, our boxes with toys in it and all that, just to find the PSP. And yeah, so growing up being with them, I told myself, I am never gonna be like that to my kids, ever. Like, yeah, there's disciplining, but like abuse, constant abuse, no. Um, yeah, no, that's my life with my parents was difficult. I wanted to just graduate and get the fuck out. Eventually, I did, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tell us what you could remember from California first, since that's where you were from.
Like from my childhood or just in general?
Childhood.
Childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
It's okay if it's not much.
Honestly, I remember spending most of my time with family. I didn't really have that many friends. I wasn't even in school just yet. I did start preschool, but that's all I can remember. And then eventually, oh, preschool, then kindergarten, I think. No, just preschool. Okay, not gonna lie. Even though I was a kid, I had a really hot teacher. I really had a hot teacher. I had a really hot teacher in preschool. She would call me Ash because I loved Pokemon so much.
Uh-huh. Wow, since preschool, got it.
Oh my god. Um,
Yeah.
but she was a really cool teacher. I know, I think she was an assistant actually. But yeah, no, when I went to preschool, that's pretty much all I remembered, and just hanging out with family majority of the time, and just until my parents decided to fly to Delaware to be with my stepdad's side of the family to learn how to do nails and all that.
There you go. Transitioning to Delaware, what can you remember from there? And you could include
I
stories.
I absolutely hated it there. Oh my god. It was all gloomy and it was just like always raining. I had some pretty cool step cousins that I would go to their house and play like with our toys together. I went to school obviously I went to school over there. Um, there was this one time at school though. I think I was in kindergarten at this point. There was a random dog, stray dog, on the playground. Everyone's going up to pet it and everything, but I couldn't stand the smell. I had a really sensitive nose. I would gag every time I smell it, and it was really bad when I was young. So I started walking away with my friend, and then everyone's running all of a sudden. We both turn around. The fucking dog was behind us and running towards us. So we got chased. We ran into one of the monkey bars and tried to get up there, but the dog caught my arm and bit me. And it would not let go until the animal control got there. And so I had to get shots every week, no, every 2 weeks, just to make sure, the rabies, just to make sure the dog didn't have rabies and stuff. Hey, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, Lita. By then, my brother and I started going to a babysitter. Our first babysitter was very mean. I wouldn't want to say she's racist, but she was mean. She actually beat me because I slammed the door and she beat me.
Jeez.
Only because we were hungry and all she fed us was absolutely the fuck not. This was one of my uncle's baby mama's mom. But she only fed my brother and I crackers and water. That's it. But when her niece or her nephew or her grandkid comes around, like the dude's getting like a gourmet meal. Hi Sriracha. So my parents were fed up with it, and after they found out that she hit me, they fired her. So now my brother and I are back with our parents. Keep in mind my parents were working in 2 separate nail salons with 2 different families. So I will go with my mom sometimes, and my brother would go with my dad sometimes. Eventually, I guess family was getting fed up with the kids just running around and just like running our business. And so they were looking for another babysitter for us, and they found one. However, these guys were super religious, very country, and their house just smelled like straight smoke, like tobacco. And every time we came home, we would smell like tobacco because the stench lingers onto your clothes. My parents didn't like that, and we didn't like that because, like, yeah. So eventually they let her go, and then from then on, it was just with my mom or with my dad. Eventually my parents did well enough to and saved up enough to, or did well enough to and got their licenses to open up their own nail shop over in Arizona, and that's when we moved.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I had babysitters, Yumi.
So that's Delaware.
Yeah, that's Delaware.
So what happened to make you guys move back to Cali?
Oh, during that time frame?
Yeah.
So my mom and my dad got into a huge argument where it got so bad that my uncle had to hold back my dad. My brother and I couldn't do anything. My mom was holding our hands and we were sitting next to her by the bed. And my dad threw a bottle of Johnson's baby lotion at her thigh. And we were scared shitless. My mom was crying. They were arguing. It was going back and forth. And yeah, we ended up going back to Arizona or back to California for a little bit. My brother was starting preschool. I was in kindergarten. I was in like kindergarten or first grade or something like that. And we both went to the Boys and Girls Club after school because my mom couldn't take care of us because she was working. And
Can
the
you
Boys and Girls
explain?
Club,
Can you explain what
huh?
that is?
Boys and Girls Club.
Mhm.
So Boys and Girls Club, it's a community where think of it as babysitting, but for like no, it's think of it as a child development center for kids. Kids, yeah, it's like a daycare, but like there's like different groups like where you can go play outside, you can go play basketball, you can play with toys. They did have lunch hours, snacking hours, homework hours, and all that. It was pretty fun. My uncles would come pick us up. We were staying with our uncle, one of our other uncles, and his parents and family. Um, but yeah, so Boys and Girls Club is a recreational daycare for like parents who can drop off their kids, and you can actually they teach stuff to like arts and craft and all that, kind of like a mini school, I guess, like an after school kind of type deal. So and then my dad actually flew back to California and apologized to my mom and everything, and then they got back together. And then we met back to Delaware. And then yeah, we stayed there for another year. Stayed there for the rest of the year. Sometime during the following year, we moved to Arizona.
Mhm.
Hi, Sandy.
You could talk on Arizona, like how life was like from there.
Ooh, Arizona life that place was hot when it was hot in the summer, and that place would be cold. Why Arizona? My parents opened up a nail shop there. They had family helping out, helping them get the business going and all that, and they were popping. Like money was coming in. Eventually, so who all worked there was my mom, my father. Arizona's not cold 24/7, only in the winter time, Sriracha. Um, yeah, no. So it was mom, pop, grandma, great uncle, and an aunt. My great uncle eventually went back to California. He was only out there temporarily to help out. Um, and then my grandma left because we would constantly make trips back to California for my grandma to refill up her prescription drugs and all that. Um, and then as well as like spend time with the family since we were a little bit closer, like 8 hours away. So it was just down to my mom, my dad, and my aunt. My mom fired my aunt
Oh.
because I forgot what happened, but her kid, my uncle's kid, different uncle this time, was a little bastard and kept stealing our toys. And like his family is so cheap. Like I'm not trying to badmouth them, but
Mhm.
it's actually It was actually pretty bad this past Christmas, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
I was just shocked this past Christmas. But no, his family is cheap. And so, yeah, she eventually fired him. So then now it was just my mom and my dad, and like we started going out to the shop to help him versus staying home and all that, or going to the Boys and Girls Club. And even after they pick us up from the Boys and Girls Club, we go out to the nail shop immediately and just help them out until they close up the shop, and then we go home at like 8 or 9, most likely like almost 10 o'clock at night. But then my brother and I would have school the next day. So, life in Arizona wasn't too bad. I don't remember too much of my elementary school days. I don't really remember too much of my middle school days either. I know I had like I hung around. I was just a weird kid. I was literally the weird kid in all of my schools, like from elementary, middle school to high school.
What do you mean by weird?
I was just I would do weird shit. I don't know. I don't know how they saw me as, but again, throughout my life, I was just a really really nice kid and very calm.
Okay.
Middle school though, I do remember getting expelled from one of my middle schools.
Talk about that.
So this kid likes to make fun of me because I'm Asian, but he was also I think he was either also Asian or Hispanic. I didn't like it, so I just made fun of him, like bad mouthing his mom, saying like, "Well, your mom is this, blah blah blah," and he got really offended and started pushing me, and like he wanted to beat me up and all that. Luckily, the teacher had just got to the classroom and when it all happened, and then we both got sent to the principal's office. I got detention for a while. The other kid also got detention for a while. Eventually, the principal spoke to my dad about what happened, and this principal, high key, extremely racist, and my dad did not like that because it's like, why is he getting punished more than the other kid is? He like, and something my parents always told me was that if anyone tries to fight you, you fight back. I don't care if you get in trouble as long as you fought back. I couldn't fight back at all. Like I'm a pacifist. I'm sorry. So my dad ended up enrolling me over to another middle school, which was like literally down the street from their nail shop. 10-15 minute walk across the park. And then from then on, I went to middle school over there from 7th to 8th grade. And then I was on the basketball team. I played basketball for the middle school, the Arizona Apache Middle School Coyotes was the name of the middle school. Apache Middle School. The other school I went to was Sierra Vista Middle School. But that name changed from Sierra Vista Middle School to Joyce Clark Middle School because one of the teachers passed away and they named it after her. But yeah, I don't remember too much about middle school. I just remember that one of the classes that I was in, I typed super fast, and that's how I type so fast now. Probably like 90 to 100 words per second, maybe more than that.
Per second?
Yeah. I think that's how it works. High school. Beginning of high school, I was still trying to learn where to hang out, because some of those guys are like my friends from middle school, from both middle schools actually, and like I haven't seen them in a while. Because during my summers, I go back to during like winter and summer breaks, and spring, all the breaks actually. Spring, summer, fall, or spring, fall, summer, spring, fall, winter, and summer break. I will be in California for just hanging out with friends and family over there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was just learning to find the right people to hang out with, but I couldn't. Like the stereotypical thing just hit me really hard. It's like, oh well, you do got your popular kids, you got your emo kids over here, you got the geeky kids over there, and then you got to mix it in between.
Mm-hmm.
So the Navy, how do you like it so far? Oh, I'll answer that in a little bit, Silva. Um, so I created my own clique, in which it was a bunch of kids that danced together. Because there was another dancing clique, but they weren't very well known. Just one of their guys that I was close with at one point. Um, we decided to dance together at lunch and hang out and all that, get to know each other. We became fairly close and like we were into like World of Dance, America's Best Dance Crew. Everyone was just having fun. I brought speakers all the time to dance at lunch before we went to our next class. All while also being in choir as well. Um, I had a faux hawk, a fox hawk when I was in high school, and I kept with it until I lost all my hair from boot camp. And then I started changing up my hairstyle after that. Um, so sophomore, junior, and senior year, I still kept dancing. I still had my groups of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I introduced my friends to my parents, and they were super nice to them and all that. And then I I got to hang out with them a little bit more, and they're just sometimes just like I couldn't hang out with them, only because of like curfew. Everybody had a curfew, obviously. One of my best friends who didn't dance at all, um, I became super close with him during sophomore year. We knew each other, and my parents knew his parents. His family is literally my second family. I hung out with him 24/7. When we both were finally able to drive, we did like late night drives on the weekends, and then we'll just drive around, especially when my parents were out of town. When my parents were out of town, they decided to let us stay home by ourselves if we didn't want to go to California or want to go to Phoenix or anything like that. Um, oh, I have a fun story for that, Jill. Um, yeah, we've been best friends. We're still best friends to this day. We gaming and everything together too. He lives in Colorado right now. He might be moving to Texas. I haven't really heard from him for the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But we both been through the same thing of. Hang on one second, y'all. My work is calling.
Oh, no worries, no worries. All right, what's up, guys? What's up? Call this like a mini break. World of Dance, America's Best Dance Crew. Definitely watched ABDC for the first few seasons. Yeah, so definitely on the topic of high school. I'm gonna let him kind of guide the conversation, and then I'll ask him specifics. Better hang up. I asked Sriracha about the diversity in his part of Arizona, but we'll see if Umami had a similar experience. Yeah, I've only watched a few seasons. Let's see. I know Jabberwockies won the first one. Second was Super Crew. Third was Quest. I forgot fourth. I remember like Poriotics won. And the one with, I think there was a season of IME.
IME was season 5, Poriotics was season 4, Jabberwocky season 1, Quest Crew season 3. I forgot who was season 2.
Super Crew.
Oh yeah, Super Crew.
All right. So yeah, continue with whatever you have for high school, and then I'll ask you specific questions.
Okay, for sure. Throughout high school, yeah, I danced throughout high school. I was also in choir. I started at the beginning choir because I didn't know what grade you had to be in for the higher choirs. But that's when I learned that I sang in a tenor pitch, sometimes a tenor 1. And that's when I also got my first girlfriend, was in choir, from choir.
We'll talk about relationships after.
Okay. So my sophomore year through my senior year of high school, I was in in the top higher choirs. No, I was in the I was in the top choir for the high school, and we were called Rhythmics. So we're a jazz vocal ensemble choir class, but it's just pretty much singing and dancing. I was also in concert choir as well, but eventually I stopped. I didn't choose to be in concert choir. I stopped going to concert choir, starting my junior year, and I just stayed with Rhythmics from junior to senior year of high school. And all while throughout those, I was also on the volleyball team as well. I didn't know shit about volleyball. And then as I got to know more and more about it, I had so much fun playing court volleyball for high school. And I wish I was still playing volleyball today for college. Yeah, I got re-inspired to play volleyball watching Haikyuu, one of the volleyball animes.
Mm-hmm.
I played throughout my sophomore year. My junior year, I did the tryouts. I was on junior varsity for both years. I didn't want to try out for varsity yet. I didn't feel comfortable. But when I was in junior varsity, I was the captain. They made me the captain because I started to learn a couple of new tricks on my own when it came to the court. And I went from playing back row to playing wing spiker and middle blocker for volleyball. But yeah, it was fun, but I had to quit because I couldn't pay for the fees and all that. And it sucked because that was like something I wanted to continue doing for the rest of high school, especially being able to go on like away games and all that. Like I enjoyed it so much and I miss it. But I'm thinking about playing for a college team when I get out, maybe. But yeah. Junior year, same thing. And senior year was a little bit different. I felt like a senpai at that point, but I didn't know that term just yet. But no, like I had a lot of good friends. There's this thing that goes around in Sierra Vista. It's like, I guess people say it's a curse. Like once you're in Sierra Vista, you're never gonna leave. You're never gonna want to leave. But here I am in Hawaii. But yeah, senior year, I graduated senior year. When I graduated senior year, it was heartbreaking because I didn't know where my friends were going to be, and I didn't know where I was going to be, who's going to college, who's, and all that. I didn't know too much what was going on afterwards. I kind of just like continued on with my life. I can be heartless sometimes and not care or give a shit about anybody until it matters. But when it comes to my close friends who I consider as family, which they're not so much close friends anymore, nor family. The only one that I consider as family is one of my best friend Marco. And at the same time, I also met another best friend from Maple Story. Her name is Selena. Um, After high school, after
Oh,
graduating, oh,
we
sorry,
could continue with high school. I have questions for you.
what's that?
So, let's start with choir. How'd you get into choir?
Oh, how do I get into choir?
Mm-hmm.
I just needed an elective, and I kind of liked it, so I kind of stuck with it.
And then you joined the rhythmics, you said, right?
Yep,
What was
I
the
ended up
highlight
joining.
of that?
Highlight of that, I didn't get to go to Disney with them. We were fundraising to go to Disney, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to go with them because my parents didn't want me to go, and they didn't let me,
Yeah.
which sucked. But my senior year, I was doing some fundraising for a trip to Colorado to do a ski and winter music festival competition, and we came home with like 5 trophies, including
Nice.
the grand champion one. Um, it was very fun and it was very satisfying, and I felt somewhat accomplished and just I had a whole lot of fun and made some good friends there.
Mm-hmm.
So that I did really enjoy being in choir. Um, but would I actually do music outside of high school? Absolutely not.
Okay, so that was choir. How about for volleyball? What got you into volleyball, and how good were you?
Uh, I got into volleyball sophomore year. I was absolute garbage during tryouts, but they ended up putting me on junior varsity because we didn't have like a freshman team. So I learned a lot playing volleyball, and it was a lot of fun going to like the games and all that. Um,
Sorry for interrupting.
what's up?
What is it? Are you gonna be home for like the rest of the day?
Yes.
Cool. Can you not lock the door? I'm gonna walk over to GameStop.
You want to take my car?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, Eric!
Yeah.
What the heck? Thank you so much for the raid, man. I appreciate you. What's up? Welcome, Raiders. Hope the stream went well. Playing Valheim and stuff, man. I was lurking for you.
Sorry about that, y'all.
No, you're good. You're good. The homie Eric just raided. Guys, follow Eric.
Hey.
ESJ Gaming, super supportive. Actually insane. Okay, we're gonna,
Volleyball.
yeah, we're gonna talk on volleyball, and just to let the chat know that I'm gonna be quiet. I'm just gonna type to you guys. So yeah. Yeah, you could continue with volleyball.
Yeah, no, I was just hot garbage sophomore year. But when I started playing throughout the season, I got a little bit better, and I was enjoying it, and I loved it. Um, my parents just didn't like the fact that sometimes my practices went pretty late, and then as well as going on away games and all that. Again, my parents didn't let me do a lot growing up in Arizona. They're pretty strict and all that. They'd rather have me, instead of letting me have fun and enjoying my life in high school, they want me to be at the nail shop to help them out and all that. Um, Junior year, yeah, I played volleyball again. I didn't even get to play the first game actually. I had to quit before then because I couldn't pay for the fees. My parents didn't let me stay in volleyball, and it kind of sucked. Like, I was very passionate about it. Plus, this is like the first sports team I've actually played for a high school, and it was just a crappy feeling. Um, if I could go back in time or go back to high school, I would or go back in time and to when I was in high school, I'd tell them just convince mom and dad to let you continue playing volleyball because it was fun. Um, but yeah, junior year, I uh I became the team captain for a little bit. I was made a wing spiker and a middle blocker. Um, Senior year, I watched my friends play volleyball because I missed it a lot and I wish I could have joined them. I probably should have tried to do the tryouts for senior year, and but honestly, I think that's something that's honestly something I should have done, and I kind of regret it because senior year was a little bit different. It was my parents were a little bit more lenient. I was pretty much almost 18, so yeah.
For sure, that's volleyball. All right, I know there's a lot with dancing, so let's talk about that. Talk about how you got into dancing and then how you transitioned to b-boying specifically.
Um, my brother and we wanted to do YouTube videos for sea walking and try to build a base from that.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we started like looking into like other types of dance styles, and we got really into we really got into the b-boys, and we started b-boying. And like I had a couple of friends back in California during my summertime. I would go hang out with them at their high school, and I would break dance with them. Um, there were two other b-boys in the high school that I went to, and they were really good. Like they were hella good.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be stereotypical, but Koreans are hella good at fucking breakdancing. I was jealous. They were teaching us stuff too. Me and my friends that wanted to learn how to breakdance. They taught us. They taught us a lot. Um, we tried doing some b-boy choreo together with me and my other friends. I also met another friend during sophomore year who breakdanced too, and like we always hung out after school just to breakdance and chill. Um, we even went to the park. We like would all walk to the park and go over to the little stadium area and just breakdance there. And then from there, like my group started getting a little bit bigger. I was a style head. I liked footwork and all that. Sometimes I did some power moves to incorporate to my footwork. Um, one of my other friends was also a style head, but he was like kind of in between. And then my third friend was just straight power head. But we had a lot of fun. We also had friends who did what you might call it, house, pop dancing, pop and lock, trumping, and all that. It was pretty cool. We were a pretty knit group, and we were pretty cool with each other. We became a family. Um, After high school, though, I tried to start learning how to do choreography just because of World of Dance and America's Best Dance Crew. Those were my inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was at one point where I did make a commute over to Northridge, California, a little bit past LA, to to do dance practices and audition for one of the dance teams up there, called Blacklisted. I met some pretty cool people when I was trying to learn how to do choreography. Um, my dance life was pretty cool, and then I kind of just quit because I was just like, I don't want to keep commuting, and on top of that, I'm kind of getting bored of it, to be honest. And I started gaming more. Fun fact, so chill. When you said World of Dance, I actually interned for World of Dance back in 2013.
I see.
Um,
Yeah, we're gonna talk about work too.
But yeah, but that's as far as for b-boy and beginning of choreo. That's pretty much how I kind of started building my friend base.
Mm-hmm. So when did you exactly stop, or are you still kind of doing it?
I stopped dancing a year after I moved to California and focused more on gaming and just hanging out with friends and family and working and going to college.
Gotcha. So what was it like starting up the club, like the show you put on?
So it was a little bit rocky starting up the club,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, it was with my close friends, my family. We had a sponsor and everything. We had our first talent show, which was pretty poppin'. We had auditions, obviously. Most of the talent shows, um, most of the talent shows that we go to, there weren't a lot of people that stayed to watch and all that. But for some reason, ours just like the entire cafeteria was packed and all that. Like it got the high school the student council questions like what they're doing wrong. um yeah, no, after graduating, the club president went to another person that I used to be friends with, and after that I didn't know what happened to it.
Mm. All right, so I guess what are the highlights from b-boying?
The friends that I made, definitely the friends that I made when I was b-boying. I made some pretty cool friends. Um, even in made some like pretty good friends in California as well, because majority of them like they b-boyed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got to learn like different types of moves, sets, and all that. B-boy stands for break boy, or just break dancing. That's what it stands for. Because technically you're doing some like weird stuff when you're dancing, and it just looks like you're breaking your bones or something like that. It's
So what,
literally.
I was gonna ask you, like, what was your first move that you learned?
My first move that I learned was called the cricket, or yeah, the cricket, and it's pretty much like both your elbows as you're rotating, and when you go in for the momentum, you're on your stomach, on your abs, and like you're hopping in a circle, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Best I could explain
That
it.
was your first move?
Yes, it was.
Jeez.
And let
Okay.
me tell you, I had to start wearing wrist guards because my wrists were not used to it,
Mm-hmm.
and like my wrists would be so sore.
How about your favorite move to do?
My favorite move. Ooh, being a style head, I don't really have a favorite move.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because again, it's all footwork.
Yeah.
It was one of these spin moves that I was trying to learn from one of the b-boys that I really looked up to. His name was B-Boy Cloud, or Daniel Cloud Campos. I looked up to him so much, and like his movement is so smooth and it's like crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tried copying one of his moves, and like I was just trying to practice that, and that one move, I don't know what it's called, but it's a signature move, and it was so elegant. He's the reason why I inspired to be a style head, to do footwork and all that. Everybody else had their inspirations, like B-Boy Kim for power moves, B-Boy Nguyen,
Mm-hmm.
and all that.
So since you did like style moves, what would you say is like the most difficult move you're able to do?
Clouds. Cloud's move was extremely difficult because you needed to have like momentum
Mm-hmm.
to keep going. To even like do 2 spins. Doing 1 spin is difficult enough. Yeah, no, do I miss breakdancing? I do here and there, but not so much where I'm just like gonna go on my way to start doing it again.
Yeah. Were you able to do like a windmill?
Absolutely not.
Uh,
No, as much as I tried learning how to, I could not do it to save my life.
oh, okay, okay.
Like, there's like so many parts to how to do a correct windmill, or even like going from a windmill to an air flare. I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so these are just other questions in regards to school. But before getting into that, you mentioned earlier that you were very competitive with your brother. Could you explain on that? In what regard?
Competitive, as in like my brother will always fight over something to see who gets to play first, or who even gets to play at all, and like we'll fight each other just to be able to play like a console game or share controllers, play games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much to the extent of the competitive between us.
Oh, so you guys didn't really talk or anything in school?
No, when he got to high school, I was a bully to him because he was my little brother.
Uh-huh.
I can't say I don't care. I didn't care for him as much when I was in high school compared to how much I care for him now. So yeah. We both have completely different personalities. If you guys ever meet my brother and you guys hang out with us, you'll see the huge difference. The other huge difference is that we don't even look look the same.
Mm-hmm. So speaking on bullying, have you ever encountered bullying yourself or seen it
Yes,
firsthand?
yeah, both actually. I was bullied in middle school, just because I was Asian. High school, not so much, but I've seen people get bullied.
How'd you respond to like those situations?
Um, I kind of just minded my own business, really.
Mm-hmm.
When I was getting bullied in middle school, I was a little bitch. I'll just back away. I was like, okay, sorry, dude. Leave me the fuck alone. I didn't do anything. They just bullied me because I was Asian. So I tend to try to like hang around more of the popular kids to kind of like get a feel of like how they are as people. High school is like those years you learn who you start to learn like who you are as a person, in my honest opinion. But yeah.
So have you ever gotten into a fight?
No, I have not. Okay, maybe once, but I lost that fight, and they broke my nose.
You want to tell the story?
um, this kid just kept bullying me. His name was Jamal. He just kept fucking bullying me, and I was like, I got sick and tired of it. And I went to go like tackle him, and like he ended up like it was a failed tackle, and he ended up punching me in the face, and that was about it.
Ah, damn.
A lot of people try to fight me in high school, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I can go into details with that because it involved relationships. Hi Lily.
Hi Lily, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. What's up? Alright. So what was like the diversity like there?
In Arizona?
Yeah.
Pretty equal amounts. More so, you hardly saw. It was pretty equal. You had Caucasians, African Americans, Hispanics, Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in their own little cliques and all that.
Yeah. Alright, back on school. How about academically? How good of a student were you throughout your entire childhood?
I went from being a good student to a shitty student.
Mm-hmm. What'd you graduate with?
Uh, I graduated with A's, B's, C's, and D's.
Oh, a mix. Okay.
A mix. Mainly A's, B's, and C's though. My parents did not like that, but I didn't really care too much.
So why and how?
um, Obviously, I got A's in choir and some other classes.
Mhm.
I just procrastinated a lot on my assignments, and I hung out with my friends a lot after school versus doing my homework assignments.
Mhm.
So there's that. But I mean, I did get to walk, and I did get to graduate, and I did get to walk. You know, my family were there. A lot of my friends, were there. It kind of sucked though, because I didn't get to graduate with my best friend because he got pulled out because of the way the school was treating, how the school system was.
Yeah. You have a few questions in chat.
Oof, I was scared. I went to high school. Wait, can we hear a song
No,
of me singing?
that's
Oh.
later. That's later.
Okay. Art for the T remote. I never got advanced stuff. Wait. Oh, no. I felt that. Hang on. What does B-boy stand for? Answer that.
Oh no. So it's why'd you fall off from school, and what was your favorite subject aside from choir?
Oh, my favorite subject, believe it or not, was math in high school. What was your GPA? Why'd you fall off? Was it like hanging out? It was, yeah. I fell off from high school. It's just hanging out with my friends more than I am paying attention in classes and all that. I kind of was a delinquent with my group of friends, but it was like in between a delinquent and a good boy in high school. My GPA at the end of it was like a 3 point something. Have you ever skipped class? All the time in senior year. And so what was your favorite story about it? For skipping class, it was senior ditch day, and me and my friends, we went just go get food. I ended up getting detention after that.
Right. So after everything you've talked about within high school, now where would you what would you categorize yourself as the typical stereotype for high school?
Typical stereotype was because I was Asian and I knew math. Don't get me wrong, I was decent at math and I mainly had A's in math.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I regret was taking geometry because I have dealt with shapes and stuff and equations. I could not comprehend that. Are you a total baddie? Period. Uh, I'm in between. Again, I was a good boy, but I was also a delinquent.
Got it.
But yeah, I was just nice, period, and no one really messed with me because of my group of friends. If you guys ever watch Tokyo Revengers, you will understand that I'm like somewhat like Mikey, and then I was also somewhat like Tamaguchi, or yeah, not Tamaguchi. Is it Tamaguchi? Anyway, yeah, in between those. I'm sorry, Wilson. What was your question again?
No, it was just a stereotype. So you just.
Oh yeah, the stereotype math. Because I'm Asian, I know how to do math. My best friend would joke with me. I was like, "Come on, here, do it, do the math." I was like, "Dude, shut the fuck up."
Wait, so you're trying to say that you were like a nerd in high school?
Not so much of a nerd. Closet nerd. I was a closet nerd.
Okay. Got it.
Sleeping. The finale got me effed up, yo. Yeah, it got me fucked up too, bro. I was just like, I had to go read the manga to continue to see what was going on.
All right, let's talk about your education after high school.
After high school, I went to college for a little bit. However,
Mm-hmm.
I was just a complete terrible student. I was asleep in class majority of the time. So I dropped all my classes and just continued working.
How far in did you get?
Not far.
Hmm.
I did not get very far. um, yeah, I just worked until I left for boot camp. That's about it.
All right, so let's talk about that now. Let's talk about boot camp and go from there.
Okay, so I stopped going to college. I was working, and then my hours started dropping because I kept hiring new people, and it kind of pissed me off. And I worked at 24 Hour Fitness. So places that I've worked at growing up, I worked at a sushi place back in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I moved to California, I worked at Abercrombie at Fitch. And then I quit Abercrombie and I started working at Lee's Sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
That's this little fast food chain in Cali. Do you guys have Lee's Sandwiches up there in NorCal?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started working at Lee's Sandwiches.
Well, we'll talk about each of these workplaces, but talk about boot camp first before we go
Boot,
back.
boot camp boot camp to me was super easy because I was already physically fit for it. I just hated running my ass off. It was definitely a good experience and like learning how to be properly disciplined, especially when you're working for the government. Boot camp was to me, I thought it was super easy. A lot of other people thought it was hard. I thought it was a joke. But graduated boot camp. I actually almost did not graduate boot camp. We were running our final physical fitness assessment before we graduated and did this thing called battle stations. Now, I can't talk about what goes on in battle stations if you've never been in. But I do want to say is that Disney built it. So like battle station is just pretty much like real life simulations in for me the Navy, like things that would happen and then things that could go wrong, right? And they teach you about all that throughout your 2 months in boot camp. But no, I almost did not graduate. We were in the middle of doing our final assessment. I was on my last lap and I was booking it. So the physical fitness assessment included push-ups and sit-ups for 2 minutes and a 1.5 mile run for certain. So there's a certain time frame you gotta beat for certain age groups. My age group, which was like 18 to like 24, we have to beat the 1.5 mile in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. I failed it because somebody pissed on the track. Somebody didn't go to the bathroom and they pissed themselves on the track, and we had to call a training timeout because that is a hazard. So I ended up failing. I got kicked out of my division and put into a temporary division until I had passed my final PFA.
Wow.
That shit sucked, but I passed anyway because everyone knew I would.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing battle stations with my same division, actually, with the same division that I was with. Now the divisions were co-ed, so there was a female compartment and a male compartment, but we obviously were split up into 2 different compartments because, you know, the genders, right? But when we get together, it's co-ed and we learn together, you know, with them. It was definitely an experience. When I finally graduated, I was pretty happy that now I am in the Navy. So, yeah, that was my experience in boot camp. It was fun. Our RDCs, or recruit division commanders, were pretty chill people afterwards. They were hard on us at the beginning, but towards the end, after we finished battle stations, they were pretty chill and like they were just telling us about life and all that, and like how it is and all that.
Yeah. Do you have any stories to talk about in regards to being a part of the Navy?
I have one particular story that I like telling. I was on my first deployment. So there's this thing called A school after boot camp where you go learn about your job. I was only there for like 3 weeks. Everybody else was there for like more than a month. So after I finished up my school for my job, I went to my first duty station in Washington over at Whidbey Island. My first deployment, though we weren't really able to go off base and go explore the country. I was in a Middle East country that goes by Qatar or Qatar. We were just stuck on the Air Force base. They also had a Facebook page. Now, there was this one night where it was like during my birthday week, right? And my birthday was on a Saturday that year. We're only allowed to have 3 drinks a night from the Fox Bar. What I did was, for some reason, during that deployment, I loved drinking gin and tonic. So what I did was, I saved up all the 3 shots because since gin is clear, I just put it in a water bottle and just snuck it back to my barracks room until that day. So in total, I had 12 shots of gin with the cranberry Red Bull. And I got so fucked up that one of the base higher ups was in the smoke pit next to the table we were sitting, and he talked to my friend, and he had my friend take me back to my barracks room.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my friends too, and it took 9 people to take me back to my barracks room. We actually had to stop halfway because I needed to use the bathroom to pee. I needed to pee. And then when they got me back to we were under one of the cabanas on the base. I started fucking crying, and it's just because one of my friends was medically evac'd because I guess she saw a dead body, and it kind of just like put her into shock, and like she got sent over to a hospital over at Stuttgart, Germany. And I was just kind of like, oh, she's okay, blah, 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 blah. And my other best friend, one of my best friends that I met before we went on deployment, was like, it's okay, she'll be fine, let's just go back to the room. It's like, okay. Now, I had the room to myself for a hot minute after my buddy left, because he got out. I woke up the next morning just fine. And I was just like, how the fuck did I get here? I didn't remember anything. I did not remember anything at all. I just remember drinking by the smoke pit where the Fox Bar was, and that's about it. So I went to my best friend, and I was like, hey man, what happened? It was like, yeah, we had to drag you back. He's like, yeah, it took like 9 people to take you back to your room. I was like, oh shit. Oh, I do remember somebody had to keep me held up while I was peeing in the urinal so I didn't fall backwards. So there was that. It was an experience being in the Middle East.
Yeah.
We ended up. Oh, I was also in a kangaroo onesie.
What the heck?
I ordered
It's the details.
One of my exes had ordered me a shark onesie for Christmas because I didn't get to spend Christmas at home that time. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go order a kangaroo onesie. I ordered it, got there. And so you guys know how I said there was a Facebook page for that base? I was on the Facebook page. Someone took a picture from behind me while I was standing at the counter ordering my drinks. Have you ever been on a heli or a Navy ship? No, I have not been.
Oh yeah, you could engage with the chat. I'm gonna grab my food real quick, okay?
Okay, for sure. No, I haven't been on one. Yeah, I've been in for 6 years and I've never been on a ship. I hope you have this picture or the onesie now to wear. Oh yeah, no, my onesie's in my laundry basket. Would you ever try the Marine Corps PFT? Absolutely not. Those guys are like monsters. I'm a little bitch because those guys are just monsters. Um, it's called the All You Need Facebook page, but I don't think it's there anymore because yeah, I don't know what happened to it. We just need some to do some PI work and find it. Oh my god, where for the rest of the stream? Okay, you guys want me to wear the kangaroo onesie for the rest of the stream? Yes, do it. Do a stream wearing the entire time. All right, give me like 5 minutes. Fuck this machine.
Angie, where are you?
We getting a onesie or what? What's happening? What I miss? Wait, he stripped. What? Hold on, let me catch up. Let's see. Vicentix? Hello, welcome to the stream. What's up? Guys. Oh, he's looking for the onesie. Okay, that Sleeping mentioned, right? And guys, thanks for tuning in to the podcast. This is not like super official or anything, but I'm just typing so I don't interrupt the guest. I will also be eating at the same time. Oh, he's gonna wear it? I mean, he said this is okay going on YouTube, so I guess. Does Wilson have a onesie? I used to. I used to have a shark onesie, but not anymore. But yeah, Time Warp, thank you so much for stopping by. Emily, you too. Appreciate y'all. What you eating? I'm eating eggs, rice, fish, and beef. He answered no. The PFT? I don't think I would try it. I mean, I would try it, but not for the like military. I would hate myself. I don't think like I'm the most fit person in the world. I'd have to train for that. Like, what do you have to do, Time Warp? If you need to run a mile and a half, I could do that. My last time was 10 minutes flat, which isn't too bad, right? Yo, you actually... Hey, don't forget, guys. Umami's gonna sing for us at the very end of this podcast. Welcome in, Yinji. Hello. Alright. Continue, Umami. Go ahead. Talk about the Marines. No, I mean the Navy. Shit. Navy?
I've been in the Navy for 6 years. I've never been to a ship or anything like that. Oh yeah. I have a little guy and he goes by Kimchi, but I don't know where the hell he is. I have a little Joey for my little pouch. Damn, now I really want to go find him. Maybe he's under the... I'm gonna have to text my friend. Okay. Yeah, no, I've... Pouch? Yeah. Pouch. For the little Joey. But I don't know where he is.
The famous
for him
Umami.
later.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Yin. Oh my god. 6 years in the Navy. I hit 6 years this past July. Never been to a ship. I've never been on a helicopter either. I've been in my squadron's aircraft before, and that shit looked tight as fuck. Not gonna lie. Um, let's see. I've had a really good experience being in the Navy. However, I did mention to you guys before, earlier this week that I had an exam. My current rank is E4. I'm a petty officer. And when I mentioned about the dirty little seamen in the Navy, we are considered as seamen because we go to sea and we're, you know, men and women, we're seamen. So my brother will always make fun of me. He's like, oh, so you a seaman now? Yeah, I'm a dirty little seaman. um he likes that word. Let's see. But no, yeah, no, my rank is E4 and we should do talk like yesterday. I'm down. Yeah, I'm a E4 and I'm now considered as a petty officer. Yesterday I actually took my exam for a promotion. So I don't find out until November if I make it or not. So like fingers crossed. This is my 8th time taking that exam for the promotion. I honestly got fucked out of going to Japan 3 times. I was so mad. So the first time was when I first showed up to my duty station, right? And my squadron had just came back from deployment from deployment in Japan. I was like, fuck, I just missed that one. My second deployment, I was in Bahrain, the Middle East, well, another country in the Middle East. I have a story for that one too, actually. I was supposed to go to Japan at the very beginning of the deployment to go help out one of my homies over there with pay stuff. So I did a shift where it was from 11 at night to 7 in the morning, just to see the flow of traffic, to see if anyone came to get help, needed help with like their pay stuff and all that. But nobody came. So I told my supervisors, like, all right, cool. Heading back to my room, and I was like all excited. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get to go to Japan, right? Go in the next day, go in later that afternoon, only to find out that the guy that was in charge over that's the detachment site was like, oh, we don't need any more admin over here for help. And so I didn't get to go to Japan. I was in Bahrain for the rest of the time, and it sucked ass.
No.
And then the third time was after I left my squadron to come to Hawaii. They went on a Japan deployment. I was fucking livid. I was like, you know what? I should have just extended my ass there and go to Japan with them. Though it was like at the height of COVID. But still, they eventually got to go out. They just had to quarantine in their rooms for a while. I got in trouble in Bahrain. There's this thing called the Disciplinary Review Board. In other words, in short, it's called a DRB. This one day where everybody was off, nobody signed out with our duty officer. Everyone was getting fucking blasted and lit at this club called the Elite Crystal Hotel. It was like drinks after drinks. Like you pay for the wristband, which was like $25, and you get to drink all you want and swim in the pool, and like there's like little cabanas and all that too. I was with my best friend, and before we met up with everybody else, we were running around looking for something as a gift when I came back, but we couldn't find it. So we got there. I was like 12 shots deep, and I was feeling perfectly fine. It was vodka too. Still perfectly fine. My friend was fucking god, and he was my what you call it? Liberty buddy. He was supposed to come back with me, but he ended up going back with another friend of mine. I went back by myself because I was also on duty that day. I needed to go to the airport with another person to go pick up some people, and I was already drinking. Now, luckily, I wasn't the one driving at all, but I was still fine. I could function and all that. Yeah, everybody got in trouble the next day, and the fact is, I got in trouble for ditching my Liberty buddy, my best friend, pretty much, at the hotel. But he was brought back safe and sound, and all that. I was just getting my fucking ass drilled into by the E7 and ups, and those guys are, you don't want to fuck with those guys, promise. But yeah, for the rest of the time, I was not allowed to wear my civilian clothes. I had to be in like PT gear, my working uniform, my workout uniform, which is just like a yellow T-shirt with navy on it and like the navy shorts and all that. Or I was in my uniform for work. And then I also had to do extra duties and like pick up trash and all that around the base, and then do 8-hour watches and all that. However, I ended up leaving a month early before everybody else, only because I was supposed to go on a work trip to Vietnam, which I actually got fucked out of that one too, because of my passport wasn't signed by me. So that sucked. But that was, yeah. What I was gonna be doing, I was gonna be a linguist over in Japan to, oh, not Japan, I'm sorry, in Vietnam to look for POW remains, which would have been a pretty cool thing to do in my Navy career. But I got taken out of that just because they didn't want to wait for me to get to the Thai embassy to sign my passport. So, and then I went back to California for leave. I was gone for 2 weeks. I had taken my exam right before I had left. So the moment I had finished my exams, that was like my 3rd time taking it. I dipped. I drove 11 hours straight to California, made a stop a little bit before Sacramento, slept for a little bit, and then I continued all the way to the rest of like no sleep, whatever. But yeah, my time in the Navy was pretty humble, pretty experiencing. I had my hardships and all that and shit that I had to deal with my personal life. Work doesn't stress me out, it's just my personal life stresses me out. I still gamed a lot, but I was on console at the time. It wasn't until I got here to Hawaii was when I started PC gaming. And just being stationed here in Hawaii is depressing, only because I can't freely drive. Well, as a seaman in your uni, all white. Oh, that's one of my uniforms. So those are my dress whites. I also have dress blues, which is a black uniform, and then I have my regular Navy working uniform, which is this right here, and then I have another uniform for the uniform called NSU's Navy Service Uniform. So I wear like 4 different types of uniforms. But yeah, honestly, my next duty station, I'm trying to go back to California, be a little bit closer to family this time. And yeah, so far it's been pretty nice being in the Navy. I live in base housing, so they pretty much take all of my housing allowance and all that.
Is that it for Navy stuff? Do you have any other stories, or should we move on?
I don't really have any other stories. Is that your only onesie, senpai? No, it's not. I also have a shark onesie.
You could talk about
Wait.
work.
Okay.
The first job.
My first job, I worked at a little. I was paid under the table, but I worked as a busser at a sushi bar. Sushi was great, and this was back in Arizona. Craziest gun you have shot or held? Example: pistol, rifle, rocket launcher. The most I've shot was a pistol. That was about it. Though during my high school year, I got to shoot an AR, which was pretty cool as well. But that's about it. All I shot was a pistol and a shotgun. Bring it out next time, Umami. I was like, okay. Okay, I will. My first job, I just worked at a sushi bar for a little bit. I was paid under the table. I eventually, it was around that time is when I also went back to California. Moved back to California. Sorry.
The onesie though.
Yeah. You guys see my tail? You guys see my tail? And then when I've moved back to California, I started working at Abercrombie and Fitch. And those hours were really weird, and I had to wear their clothes, which came out of my own pocket. They didn't pay for it. Had to represent them. Thank you, Yin. After working at Abercrombie and learning about the people who work there, people who work at Abercrombie is like so uptight. Isn't Abercrombie and Fitch expensive? Yes, they are expensive. And I dressed preppy pretty much. Like in high school, I dressed in Hollister and like PacSun, Abercrombie, and all that. And then after I quit Abercrombie, I worked at Lee's Sandwiches for a little bit, and oh my god, I could not stand working there. It's just something about I cringe so much every time I hear Vietnamese, like full on Vietnamese accents. I couldn't stand it. And yes, I am Vietnamese, by the way. But I spoke English first before I started speaking Vietnamese. So my Vietnamese is extremely fucking broken. You were that person in high school. No, I wasn't that person. I like to say I was well-rounded. I didn't work there very long. I worked there for like maybe a few months or so. And then, because I started getting tired of it. And then I started working at 24 Hour Fitness for the rest of the time. So not only that, I got a free membership to 24 Hour Fitness. And the hours are okay at the beginning. And then I started picking up more hours. And then I was also trying to go to college as well, because I had to wait a whole year to go to college to be a complete resident in California again, because my license in Arizona. So I ended up getting an identification card for California. eventually I started losing hours and getting money was tough. Don't you get tired of the music at 24 hours? Yes. Yes, I did. I absolutely got tired of it. But it is what it is. Yeah, so that's pretty much why I ended up joining sooner. So I was going to college to get a bachelor's degree and then join the Air Force. But the time frame of that took too long. So I ended up just enlisting into the Navy instead because my uncle pulled me in. My uncle is a E8, so he's up there in the Navy. So he's the reason why I'm in. And I joined because I wanted to travel and like experience like the different cultures and all that. But I didn't work too many jobs, really. The Navy is practically my only job now, other than from streaming. But I stream for fun, and I enjoy streaming more than I do my actual job because my job right now is boring as hell. And what I do in the Navy is bitch work, and I handle people's pay entitlements and what they get paid depending on where they're at. So being in Hawaii, we get paid 2 different entitlements depending on where you're at. If you're at a shore command or a sea command. So there's sea rotation where you deploy and all that, and then there's shore command where you don't deploy at all. I'm on shore command because I came from a sea command where you actually deploy. How much longer are you planning to be in the Navy? It all really depends, honestly. With my stream actually going off a little bit more now, my goal right now with streaming is just to build a base for now. My main goal in the military, in the Navy, is to put on E5. I know you can't see me, but I'm clapping as an audience for you. Oh, thank you, Yin. Thank you. Put on E5. When I put on E5, I'm just coasting for the rest of the time, pretty much. And that way I can, once I put on E5, I can focus more on just straight streaming and continue building my base. So I have my goals for streaming, but I'm assuming we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, it's not so bad being in the Navy, don't get me wrong. It's just not for everybody. Being in the military is not for everybody sometimes. So I'm only in it because I got nothing better to do outside of the Navy. So yeah. I'm also, oh, believe it or not, I'm actually in college right now. Free education. I attend American Military University, so I'm going to an online university. And I'm currently working on my associate's degree. I'm almost done. I just need like 6 more classes, and I get it, and then I graduate an associate's. And then from there, if I decide to get out, I'll figure out what my plans are for the rest of the time I'm in school.
Very nice. So, of all your jobs, let's talk about some crazy stories or interesting stories, especially because you dealt with a lot of customer end type of jobs.
True. When I was working at Abercrombie, I just mainly worked in the back. I was the guy that did the stock and just ran to the front. I actually, it's not a crazy story, like my crazy stories for the military. One of the tourists there thought I was a model. So in Abercrombie, you have the models and you got the people that work in the back. I was in the front just putting away some clothes. This girl that was a model at the front who worked as a sales associate in the front needed some help. I was like, okay. This lady was like, oh, are you a model up here? I was like, no, I work in the back. And she's like, hey, can you help me? I was like, yeah, sure. So I was trying on this jacket, and it was so awkward. I tried to be a model at one point. I gave up on that so quick. um, did it not fit? It was a little too small for me. Uh, it was a little too small, but it was extremely awkward because she asked me to help her out. I was like, I gotta go back there and fold some clothes and bring it to the front. No, famous model Umami. No, I'm not famous at all. I'm just here. No, I did actually try to become a model when I was in Washington, but I gave up pretty quick. So yeah, no modeling for me. Just because there's so much competition out there, and I was pretty self-conscious of myself, and like I had low self-esteem. I didn't have any really crazy stories besides being in the military, and it was just me like having my friends take me back to my barracks because it took 9 of them. I was like really like dead weight.
That's fine.
As far as for the rest of the jobs, it was just boring, pretty much. I got bored easily. I was a friend who helped out a lot with like for my friends who started working out, and I knew a little bit. I was going to become a personal trainer, but I ended up not doing so because I was also going to college for kinesiology to become a personal trainer or a physical therapist. I also gave up on those just because too long. I gave up a lot of things. I didn't really stick with a lot. That's why I'm in the Navy now.
You think that's it for your work life? Anything else to talk about, or should we move on?
Yeah, no, that's about it for my work life. I didn't really have an interesting work life. Like a lot of my friends are really like out there, like doing their thing. How often do you have to move or change? As in like move duty stations or
Like, is that like a
stations?
general question?
Oh no, he said stations on my stream too. I was in Washington. Right now, my rotation is so the start of my rotation is 48 months at a first command. So 4 years at a sea duty command, 3 years at a shore command, and then I'll be doing 3.5 years at my next duty station, and then I'll be doing another 3 years at another shore station, and it'll be another 3.5, and then it'll be 3, and then it'll be 3 and 3 for the rest of the time. But I don't know if I plan on staying in. It all depends on what goes on moving forward with where I am right now and my current situation and all that, being in Hawaii. So you don't move quite as often as people would think. But when you're on sea duty, you do deploy every other year for either 6 to 9 months. My deployments were only 6 months long. So because I was with a squadron, land-based squadron. Where do I want to go next? I'm pushing for San Diego right now, but I won't get to pick until this upcoming February. So, because my rotation date is January 2023. So I have a lot going on, kind of.
All right, let's talk about some of your interests. Current favorite games.
My current favorite games are Apex, maybe a little bit of Valorant, but I play a variety of games, but I mainly play Apex. So I'm waiting for the split to happen so that I can grind to diamond this time. I grinded to platinum this season, and it was my first time hitting platinum. So
Nice.
yeah, well, because I'm also from Cali as well, Chiba.
Favorite foods.
Favorite foods. I definitely love pho, takoyaki, banseo, uh, banh mi, and I love the burgers from In-N-Out Burger. Uh, oh yeah, for sure, EJ. SJ. What's your favorite? What's your 5 favorite movies? Um, let me finish the answer for food first, and then I'll answer that one for you, Ian. Um, I love food in general, so anything that tastes good or looks remotely good, I'll eat it or try it at least. But those are the main things I really like is pho, bun seo, bún bò banh mi, and bun bao. So just Vietnamese dishes. I say those is because I took those for granted when I was growing up, being in a Vietnamese household. I took those for granted, straight up. And now being here, you can't really find that many good places unless I'm back home in California. Carry me in Apex Senpai. I got you, Nam. I got you. Why not cook for yourself? I do cook for myself sometimes. It's just not Vietnamese cuisines. I did cook bacall before. It was pretty good. Just eat it with bread too. My 5 favorite movies. I don't really have favorite movies. I mean, if you include anime movies, even then, I don't really have favorites. I just watch it because it's there, or if it's like along with like the series. Um, let's see, what did I watch recently that is my favorite? Oh wait, actually, you know what? I take that back. I love the Rush Hour movies. They were really funny.
You could also talk about anime, like your favorite ones.
Okay. My current favorite anime would have to be Tokyo Revengers, just because of the biker gang and the gang stuff. That shit's badass. Like, I got so hooked after the first episode. Um, and then my second favorite anime is The Irregular at Magic High School. And then would have to be Seven Deadly Sins, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Black Bullet, Haikyuu. Katekyo, Hitman Reborn. So, question for Umami. But yeah, that's about it for my favorite anime so far. I'm still trying to catch up with my other ones. The time I got reincarnated as a slime is really funny. That's also starting to become my favorite. Is Wilson daddy? Oh, even lets me call him daddy.
Oh, then no.
Then I guess not. He's not daddy.
All right.
Sorry, y'all.
Favorite music and artists.
Favorite music and artists. I'll listen to anything. As long as it's not metal or screamo. Sometimes metal. But right now I've been digging a lot of vibing music. My favorite artist would have to be Maroon 5, hands down. And then The Score.
Okay. Have you ever sustained any other injuries worth mentioning other than the broken nose?
No, I've sprained my wrists a few times. Even sprained my ankle a few times. But I've never really had a broken body piece.
Let's talk about the tattoos you have. When did you get them and what do they represent?
So my very first tattoo, I wanted a Polynesian shark on my chest. Sharks represent power and dominance, and that's what I like to think I represent as is power and dominance, even though I may seem like generally a nice guy on the outside. That was my first tattoo. My second tattoo I got was when I came back from my first deployment, and I was going through so much on after my first deployment. I ended up deciding to get in a couple of tattoos. I have the if you guys watch Naruto, I have the Hyuga seal on my wrist, on my right wrist. I have Minato's dagger. Oh no, hold on. I ended up getting the Hyuga seal on my right wrist and the homunculus symbol, the chimera symbol from Full Metal Alchemist on my V line. The next tattoo that I got was my shark dagger tattoo. It's a Polynesian shark dagger with the shark head at the top, at the hilt or at the handle. I can show it. I can. So this right here, this was the beginning, and then this one I'll get into here in a little bit. This one I got after my second deployment. It's actually a manta ray on my forearm connected with my dagger. Before my second deployment, literally the day before we deployed, I went out to Everett, Washington, and got another tattoo, and I got Minato's dagger from Naruto. That shit was itching so much, but because of how hot it was, it was it? Yeah, because of how hot it was, it healed up pretty fast. Oh, thank you, Yin. And then if you guys watch Bleach, do you guys know who the Espadas are? Specifically Grimjo?
You could explain it.
So Grimjo is the 6th strongest in the Espada, and he has his number 6 on his lower right back. And then you guys know his little bone jawline for his hollow, since he's a hollow. I have that on my back. I'd show you, but yeah, but I can't. So it's the number 6 with his bone piece connected to the bottom corner of the bottom right corner of the 6, and it's on my lower right back. Oh, I even have the 7 Deadly Sins tattoos, the Sin of Wrath, on my bicep, or on this arm right here. And then I have this on my hand from Jujutsu Kaisen. It's Sukuna.
Sheesh, anime influence is real.
Yeah. So my whole right arm will be an anime and Japanese themed sleeve, and my whole left arm will be a Polynesian themed sleeve.
Very nice. All right. Do you need to take a break?
No, I'm good.
All right. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna put my dish away. We're gonna move into the next topic, guys, which has to do with relationships.
Oof.
And your social life. So this is gonna get a lot more serious. So I'm gonna be totally locked in for this. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is like the midpoint. Alright, give me a second. And welcome back. Thank you so much. Doogie, you too. Appreciate you guys. Means a lot having your support. I was lurking for ya. Oh, you DC 3 times. Jeez. Yeah, it gets stressful. This just trying over and over which connections. All right, Umami, entertain the chat, please.
Okay. Oh, Senpai teasing with the anime tattoo. Senpai winning all the hearts. I don't know if I'm winning all the hearts here. This is Wilson's stream. Wilson's too famous. How's everyone doing? I'm just chilling. Thank you for joining us in the podcast featuring me. I appreciate everybody that's coming in and watching all that. I can't show the back tattoo because I'm free balling right now, so I literally have nothing underneath. I literally just had this on and there's nothing else underneath. Yep, in the nude. Yeah, show that too. Rod, you would want to see me. How can I entertain you guys tonight while we're waiting for Wilson to come back? Okay, on my way. I have to take a picture of you in your onesie. It's so cute. Okay, I'll do this. They stream free ball. Okay, senpai. For a favor, when you're having a freedom moment, you should show on Discord like a picture. Or when you're not having a freedom moment, show on Discord. My back tattoo? You're welcome, Yin. Sure. I wouldn't mind. You'll see the rest of my tattoos as well. How can I entertain y'all tonight? Besides, you know, not being in my onesie.
Good, Umami?
You literally just woke up. Yeah, I'm good.
Alright. Adrian, welcome in. What's up? Here we go, guys. Serious topic time. We're locked in. We're locked in. Alright, so start us off with their first relationship. You could get into as much detail as you'd like, and then we're just gonna move on from there. So start off with like how you guys met.
My first relationship, we met from choir. I was dating around in high school. Most of those relationships weren't even serious. I haven't even lost my virginity yet. Surprisingly, with the people I was dating. A lot of guys, the girls that I was dating, a lot of guys were extremely jealous because most of the girls were out of my league. And somehow I ended up dating them. I don't really like compared to high school, I don't really consider anything that's like less than a month as dating, but in high school it was more of like, oh, we were dating for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, all that sappy shit. But my first actual girlfriend where I lost everything to, we met in choir. She was pretty cool. She was a military brat. Her father was pretty weird, but he was also hella funny. And we were together for like a year and a half. She ended up moving to California, to Temecula, California. But throughout the entire relationship, we were really toxic to each other. Like, I was super clingy, she was super clingy, we were both super insecure about things and all that. She did tell me that before we even started dating, it's like, you're not really my type. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, listen here, you fucking ant. Are you inside my screen? You little piece of shit. Oh, he's in my screen, you little fucker. That's gonna bug me.
Yeah, hi YouTube.
Die. Oh no, not there. Damn it. Well. Fucking ants. We ended up taking a break. And we went from in-person relationship to long-distance relationship. That's gonna bug me. Yeah, we ended up taking a break, and this was during a long distance, and I was going through my junior and senior year of high school. I had a best friend who was a female, obviously. And when she found out that me and my ex had broke up or went on a break, she messaged me out of nowhere when I was walking into the mall. I was like, I like you and all that. And we started hanging out. We went to the gymnastics gym together every Friday together, and I go there every Friday to do martial arts tricking and like gymnastic stuff with my buddies. Well, things got a little spicy. And my girlfriend at the time did not like that. She did not like the fact that I was friends with like a decent amount of girls. And she was very self-conscious of herself too. Even though she was like fucking beautiful. Compared to the other girls. Oh, she was white and a quarter Filipino. But yeah, I ended up sleeping with my best friend. And this was after me and her broke up. Or no. This was while we were on a break, and then we officially ended things. And then I was seeing my best friend for a while. And then I ended things with her after sleeping with her like maybe like a couple of times. Ended things with her because I still had feelings for my ex. And then from there... Wait, what? Oh, you're that party boy. Like... Yeah, so she held a grudge on me for a very long time, even after graduation. This one time I came to visit my brother and my mom and dad and my little sister. She drove by and like my cousin or my brother and my friend was like, dude, she was like hardcore like staring you down just driving by. I was like, I didn't fucking know. When I was in California, so that was it for my really... No, it wasn't an accident. I totally 100% was not an accident. Unless you're talking about when Wilson timed him out. Oh, okay. There was this girl that I met in Cali from a mutual, I guess, friend. And she had just gotten out of a relationship with her boyfriend. And I was at a friend's birthday dinner, and I told her, I was like, well, I'm free on Martin Luther King Day. And she lived in Alhambra, California. So I drove up there